Awesome.
I definitely also want to ask you about systems because when it comes to a franchise,
Right.
I think the difference between a franchise versus a small business who doesn't have, like, who doesn't grow, who doesn't scale, is because of systems, right? It's a lot of mom and pop, right?
Yeah, people don't fail, systems do.
Yes.
I learned that from Michael Gerber, who wrote a book called The E-Myth.
Yes.
And so The E-Myth Revisited is our Bible, if you will,
Yes.
of how to systematize a business.
Yes.
You have to have the right recruiting systems to find the right people,
Yeah.
the right training systems
Once
to
you have
teach them how to do the job properly, and then the right operating systems to ensure that they're kept great.
What does a good system look like? Are you talking about just having the procedures, like documentations, or like what does it look like?
To me, a system is anyone should be able to pick up on one page how you do something.
Wow.
So it was as simple as back in the old days, I took out a sheet of paper
Yes.
for every single best practice in the business. How do you load the truck? How do you price jobs? What's the script of how you talk to the customer on the
Like
call center?
that detail.
Yeah, that detailed, but it had each system was one page maximum. Here's the best way we do these things. So, a system was in our training for any of our brands.
Right.
You go see the customer, you knock on the front door, you
Right.
introduce yourself by name, and you give them a nice handshake, a nice smile.
Yes.
You say thank you at the end of the job. You sweep up after the job. Every little, it's like a checklist. The best way I can think to describe a system is think about every time we fly. Those pilots have flown hundreds, hopefully thousands of times.
Yes.
They still take that little laminated checklist and they go check, 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 check.
So it's like a checklist.
It's like a checklist to ensure that the best practice is followed and done each and every time so you don't have to make a mistake.
So in some way you have a checklist. So you have the example, let's say the operation system, but you have a lot of mini systems within that system.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like within your company, I don't even know. Would you know like how many systems you have?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to guess. I mean,
Hundreds?
sure.
Hundreds,
Yeah.
right?
A system for me, so a daily system for me, my alarm goes off at 5:55 a.m. The first thing I do is I look in my phone and there's a note, an iPhone note, which is my daily intention. And I write down what's my daily intention for today. And it might be, it's just one thing, but it could be to, make sure I eat healthy all day, don't drink any alcohol, make sure I exercise, make sure I make this phone call to this person that's incredibly important. But it's one thing that I want to keep in my mind all day that is going to drive a positive outcome on my day.
So the daily intention, the daily focus.
A daily focus, a daily intention for me, and what makes it a system is, my alarm goes off automatically. It's
Correct.
always set at 5:55, and bing, I know that's the first thing I do when I get up.
That. And then from there, I'm curious with, let's say when you come up with an idea, do you just talk to Eric directly, say, hey, Eric, we're gonna do this? Like, what do you do so that it doesn't disrupt the team?
Yeah, so that it's
This
a
is
good
a
question
question I have.
because entrepreneurs disrupt people. I'm sure you never do it, but entrepreneurs will come up with ideas and go, oh, I just met with Dan
Yes.
Locke. I got this great idea. We
Yeah.
need to do this. So what I do is I take my phone and I have a note with all of my meetings and idea notes for Eric. So I put at the top for the next meeting my ideas.
When you meet with him, right?
And so when I'm going to meet with him once a month to go through these ideas,
Wow, like you have that much discipline to wait for a month?
I wait for a month.
Oh my God, okay.
So what I do though is the night before,
Yeah.
we both say, what do we want to talk about?
Yeah.
And I'll go through my notes and I'll get rid of stuff that I think, it's not a good idea anymore.
Okay.
But I'll pick the priorities and I'll say,
Okay.
what do I want to use my time that Eric and I have together to talk through in terms of new ideas? So the reason I wait a month, and I learned this from Eric, while it's a good idea today, it doesn't mean it should be done. It doesn't mean it's a good idea tomorrow. Let it marinate a little bit. The company is a $444 million business. We don't need to go do this tomorrow. It's one thing if something's really desperately broken and needs fixing. But with new ideas, give it a little time. Let it marinate.
Yeah, like I said, maybe then after 30 days, you know what, not a priority anymore, or things change, we don't need to do that. Or after 30 days, you think about it some more, you sleep on it some more, it's still a very, very good idea. Maybe you already come up with a slightly improved version of the original idea anyway,
yeah.
and then you can implement. I gotta test this 1 month. That's not easy.
Just get your team to hold you accountable.
Oh, that's
Say,
not easy.
Great idea, Dan.
Oh, that's
You
not
got 28
easy.
days left or whatever it is.
Oh, it drives me crazy because, as you know, when I have an idea, I'm like a massive implementer.
Sure.
It drives me crazy when
Yeah.
I don't do it right. But I gotta learn. I gotta learn as well. But it's exactly like this where I think sitting down with entrepreneurs, you get different ideas, and that's the value of being in a group like EO or YPO, a mastermind where you learn from each other. There's no ego.
No.
Right? Everybody just get together. We're very transparent, very open, and we just share. Hey, here's what I'm working on. No one is perfect. Doesn't matter you're running a $1 million company, you're running a $1 billion company. We've all have projects we're working on, or challenges, right? No one is perfect. And I love the idea, like what you just shared. Even you get to that point where it's over $100 million, no company is too big to fail. When you fail like fast.
Yeah, and
Right.
there's a lot of companies failing these days. Just look at retail. Amazon is owning the world in
Yes,
retail in
yes.
terms of the great job they do,
Yes.
but other companies aren't innovating and keeping up.